buried treasures, a battering ram used in the Punic Wars to sink another ship, an underwater city. That's what you'll discover on a visit to Fernbank Museum thanks to the Natural Museum of History's newest exhibit, Sunken Treasures, Ancient Seas.
This exhibit really highlights maritime archaeology and the cultural materials that are recovered from shipwrecks primarily around the island of Sicily off the coast of Italy. So we have things that focus on naval history, commerce and trade, geopolitics. So I think we have a little bit of something for everybody.
Dive deep into the waters of the Mediterranean Sea and discover coins, jewelry, and this fascinating piece of history.
We have a battering ram from a Roman ship that was essentially used to ram the hull of a ship from Carthage, and that ship sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And from other historical documents, we know that battering ram, which also sunk to the bottom of the ocean, dates to the First Punic Wars, and the battle was actually March 10th, 241 BCE.
Entrance to Sunken Treasures Ancient Seas is included with admission of Fernbank. In addition to the buried treasures from shipwrecks, the exhibit showcases a world unimaginable in today's times.
But one thing that I found really interesting is the way that metals were transported back in Roman times. So a lot of times they were cast into what's called a metal ingot. So it's a standardized shape for all of them, and then they were stacked together and then put in the hull of a cargo ship and transported. And then when you would get to the destination, they would either mint them into coins, turn them into jewelry, or whatever the case may be. But the reason I find it interesting is I think of the day that we live in, where we can get anything from Amazon at any time, or you think back to the Old West and you think about the Wells Fargo wagon taking gold bars from the banks to the mints. And so I think it's just a really interesting way of looking at trade, given the time that we live in and how things were transported historically.
One immersive element not to be missed is the exploration of an underwater city.
There was kind of a Roman resort town called Bai, and it's around Naples, and because of geological processes related to volcanism, that whole city has sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And so the Italians are actually reconstructing these ancient mosaics underwater. Same with the sculpture. So it's essentially, and they're not planning to remove them and take them out and put them in a museum. So essentially you can go and do kind of underwater tourism in this area and explore some of these sunken cities.
The newest Fernbank Museum exhibit concludes with a piece of Georgia history. This more than 300-year-old dugout canoe is a Georgia sunken treasure and part of the museum's collection. Forget all the cars and 18-wheelers you encounter every day along I-285. This long-leaf pine canoe is what used to transport people and goods throughout the state of Georgia. Imagine riding in one of these every day. Sunken Treasures Ancient Seas is on display at Fernbank Museum of Natural History now through January 11th, 2026. Nelson X, WSB-TV.com.